So we are discovering, this is a joint investigation by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, and the Project on Government Oversight, POGO. And what they found, there was a leaked list of Oath Keepers. This came out of the Stewart Rhodes trial. And they compared this list to lists of government employees in various government agencies. And what they found was that there were more than 300 Oath Keepers. Keep in mind, these were people who tried to overthrow the government of the United States. There are over 300 Oath Keepers in the Border Patrol, the Coast Guard, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, and the Secret Service in the Department of Homeland Security. According to the report, quote, Oath Keepers have deployed armed groups in response to protests against police brutality against black people, such as in Ferguson, Missouri in 2014 and 2015, and at Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. Many protesters and observers saw the Oath Keepers' presence as intimidating and in opposition to calls for police accountability. They note several members left the Oath Keepers because the group was so radical. The new report follows the November 29th conviction of Stewart Rhodes and Kelly Meggs, the two essentially leaders on charges of seditious conspiracy. Rhodes once wrote about infiltrating government agencies. It's men like this on the inside who can and do provide information to expose what's going on. Now we can add a DHS patch to our display of patches that shows that there are Oath Keepers among them. That ought to get a few panties in a wad. Good fun. Benny Thompson, the head of the January 6th committee, says extremism within our government is always alarming, but even more so in a department with law enforcement and national security nexus like DHS. Yeah, you think? Meanwhile, Brett Kavanaugh went to a Christmas party with Matt Gaetz, Sebastian Gorka, Stephen Miller, Chad Wolf, Greta Van Susteren, and Eric Prince. What could be more precious, right? You wonder. You remember Brett Kavanaugh? He said during his hearings, "You Democrats, you think you're having fun now? I'm going to get you back." He didn't. Those weren't his words. Those are my words. But I'm characterizing, I think, accurately the essence of what he said. It's incredible. Meanwhile, progressive lawmakers want a fraud probe into this expansion of Medicare privatization that's supposed to start in January. I'll tell you about that very briefly on the other side of the break, and pick up your phone calls for the rest of the hour.